Welcome to Pat Stats. Today we start a new series on the channel playing Out of the Park Baseball. Out of the Park Baseball is a simulation game that allows you to play as a general manager of a Major League Baseball team. It's a really good game. I've played it for a few years now, and it's one of the best games out there, I think. If you know MLB The Show franchise mode, it's kind of like that, but 10 times better, super realistic, and very fun. So we're going to start playing as the general manager of the New York Mets, which is my favorite team. And it kind of helps to start on a new game by playing with the team that you know, because you know the players for the most part. Even though it's not going to be 100% realistic, that's okay. But you still know the names, you know the minor leagues, and that just helps out. Maybe in the future we can play as some other teams, but for now we're going to start with the Mets. So a few things before we start. Obviously, you can see right here is kind of the interface of the game. This is where we're going to spend most of our time. But I also have set aside here on the right a space for notes in case we have to write things down. It'll be good to help us remember things as we continue to play the game, because there can be a lot we might want to remember at some point, and this is just a little spot to do that. So there's kind of three things on the agenda today for the first episode. We're going to go through the game settings and kind of change things to what I usually play on to make the game run as smoothly as possible. Then we're going to go through the manager settings and basically decide what I want to and what I don't want to do in the game, because there's a lot you can do. I'm not going to do everything, but I'm going to do a lot. And the last thing we're going to do is meet the team. We're going to go through all the players on the active roster, as well as the 40-man roster and the minor leagues, because it's all important. And we're going to just meet our team. Oh, maybe also we can go through our team personnel as well. So let's start with the game settings. I'm going to go through a lot of it just so we can kind of start off, the way I always start off by looking at the settings and changing the things I want. I'm not going to go one by one, but I do want to make sure I go through everything I want to do before we start. And the first thing I'm going to change is right here. So in this game, players are given ratings. They are defaulted to appear as stars, basically out of 5 stars. Most players are between 2 and 4, the best players being 5. I'm going to actually change it to values of 20 to 80. It's the same type of scale, but just with a number and not a star. And the reason I do this, I think, is when you think of like prospects, for example, and the scouting scale, that's on the 20 to 80 scale. When you see a prospect with 70 raw power, that's on 20 to 80 scale. And so we're going to keep that consistent in this game. Scrolling down a little bit, I'm not going to change anything else over here. There's something called Coach Cohesion Impact, which basically says if your coaches are getting along, that's a good thing. Makes sense. Not that big a deal, but I'm not going to change anything here. Over on the right side here, auto save settings. I'm going to change a couple of these. I don't need everything being saved from the entire league. Just, I guess, the major leagues here for game recaps and WPA graphs. Game logs, yeah, same thing. Major leagues, replays from major leagues. We're not going to be playing the actual game, so we're not going to need any of this pitch-by-pitch stuff. No, we don't need any highlights. We don't need any 3D movement things. We are going to keep news logs, injury logs, and transaction logs just so we can go back and look at that. That's always good. Right here, something I've always debated in the past, storylines. Sometimes what it does is, like in the offseason, it'll tell you a player has went to another country and on a vacation, and somehow that like negatively affects their ratings. It's a little weird sometimes. I'm going to keep it on for now, but if it gets out of hand, I'll probably turn it off. It's not the end of the world. Moving over here to the players and team settings. I might change a couple things here, specifically with these injuries. So for short and long-term injury, I'm actually going to move it up to high, which it says is realistic modern day. I think there are in Major League Baseball right now a lot of injuries, and we want to have that reflected in the game. And also, it's good to have a challenge. You don't want everything going exactly according to plan. So injuries are going to be a factor. I'm going to actually change suspensions to low. Sometimes it'll just have too many like benches clearing brawls and too many suspensions given out for like 8 games sometimes. It's like that's not realistic. So we'll turn those on one level lower to low. Player personality, very important. I'm going to turn this on to show player personality ratings on their profile page. So players are given traits, for example, if they are high on with work ethic, or if they are highly intelligent, or have good leadership qualities. It'll say that on their personality page, and that can make a difference because similar to the coaching staff, which I just mentioned, there is kind of like a team morale level it gives you, and you want that to be as high as possible. Moving down here, talent change randomness. I have played with in the past. Some years I move it up a little bit, and it makes a huge difference. And sometimes I haven't noticed any difference. Maybe I'll move it up a tiny bit to just like a 105 to start. Things happen in Major League Baseball. Sometimes that is out of your control. I think this can kind of capture that idea. So they also have something in this game called the Development Lab. It's a relatively new feature, just started last year. In last year's version of the game, this is the new version of the game, 2025 version. And what it basically allows you to do is put players in the lab, give them a goal to work on over the course of an offseason, and you have good coaching, and if the player's motivated or intelligent, like I was just talking about, chances are they are going to succeed in achieving that goal and get better as a player. You can change how many players you can put in that lab over the course of one offseason. It's defaulted at 8. Last season it was actually defaulted at 6. I'm gonna leave it at 8 though. I think that's a good number. I'm not gonna change anything over here or over here. Face gen. I'm just gonna do one thing. I'm gonna have it kind of create pictures for every major league player, just because once you start getting to like fake players, it's good to put a name to a face. Obviously, after a while, the players are not going to be all what they are in real life. It does have college players in the game, which is pretty cool, but beyond that, it'll eventually be fake players like any game. So it's good to put a name to a face. Other than that, I'm not going to change anything else over here. AI settings, I will change a couple of things. You can basically change the trading difficulty of the computer. I'm going to actually move it up to the second highest level. I just think that that adds a little challenge. It's not going to be I can't just make trades at will. There has to be something there. And as far as trading preference goes, do I want to favor veterans or favor prospects? I'm going to move it 1 towards veterans. Sometimes it just overvalues prospects and don't want to have that. So there's that. I'm going to turn this button on, hard mode for trading. So basically what you could do without this mode turned on is pick a player, say I want to trade for Luis Robert. I could hit a button called make this trade work now, and it would give me a list of players in my organization who I could trade for Luis Robert immediately, and that would be it. That is, I think, a little bit too easy. What this mode forces you to do is come up with an offer to submit to a team, and then they will respond, either accepting it or declining it. I think that's a little more challenging and a worthwhile challenge at that. There's some sort of reputation system it gives you for your trades. I'll keep that on, but it's not that big a deal. They also have on the trade deadline a little simulation type thing that simulates the actual deadline. So it times you. It gives you usually 4-minute periods to make trades, and teams respond to you instantly, whether they accept or don't. The last thing in this section, actually, I'm going to change a little bit, is the player evaluation settings. Basically, how does the computer evaluate players? Currently, it has it at 60% the ratings, and then I guess the remaining 40% as stats. I'm actually going to bump this up to 80%. I think the ratings are that much more important than the actual stats. The ratings reflect kind of what the players are more than the stats sometimes. So if this is 80, I'll make this probably like 12. And then we'll do so that's 92. So 6 and 2, I guess. Yeah, we'll keep it at that for now. Again, not that big a deal, but that is what we're going to start at. This section, Almanac, I'm not going to change anything. Database, once it loads, not going to change anything here. And finally, league settings, there's a lot here. So on this page, functions, there's a lot you can do. You can expand the league. You can schedule a fantasy draft. You can schedule a free agent draft. These two, obviously, not things that happen in real life, but it's fun in the game, as well as the expansion draft. I've done that in the past. Actually, ran an expansion team. It's pretty fun. You can do a lot. You can add the ballparks, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to do anything of that nature right now. Leagues and teams, you can change the team names if you want, or I guess you can change the divisions as well if you want to do that. Not going to do that right now. Rules. It's got the DH rule enabled, 3-batter rule. Not going to change too much over here. 26-man active roster, 40-man roster. I think in real life, the 40-man roster should be around 45, but just to, again, keep it consistent, we'll have it at 40 with 28-man rosters in September. Postseason eligibility, not changing that. Waivers, DFA, injured list, nothing to change here. 3 option years. You're gonna be optioned 5 times in the season. We're keeping that. Rule 5 draft is in the middle of December. On this side, the right side here, I was just talking about the trade deadline day. So it's got that set up right here. I am going to turn on this button to allow us to trade players who are injured because you can do that in real life. So we're going to do that in this game. You could also turn on waiver trades if you want to kind of have it like how it used to be. I'm not going to, although that would be interesting to play as. AI trading frequency is going to remain at average. If we have to change it, we will, but I haven't had any issues with that. One thing I am going to change here is something with the draft. I noticed from last year, and I guess every year, how it has 40% of high school players targeted, only 20% of college players targeted. That just doesn't seem right to me. I looked it up, and it's really mostly college players end up getting drafted. So I'm going to make college players 60% and high school players 20%. Again, it was defaulted not to equal 100, so I'm not going to have it equal to 100. I'm not exactly sure why it had it like that, but I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to mess around with anything like that. Anything else to change here? They got the draft lottery all set up. I'm not going to change anything there. Financials. I don't think there's anything to change here, although if you wanted to, you could change the minimum service years for free agency, arbitration, Super 2 stuff. Again, not really going to change anything. And the qualifying offer is currently set at a little over $20 million. And that should increase, as should the minimum salary and everything year over year with inflation. It's got 0 to 2%. I've never messed with anything on the screen, and it seems to work out just fine. Options. So they have a way that kind of the league kind of just evolves over time with stuff like expansion, team location, all this stuff. But I don't want that. If I want to change the rules or add an expansion team, I'm going to do that myself. The one thing I am going to keep on, though, is more or less offense and more or less pitching, because that sometimes happens without anyone's control for whatever reason, and we're going to monitor that as the years go on. Awards. It's got all the awards in here. I'm actually going to change these to what they are actually called. So the Silver Slugger Award, not the Platinum Stick Award, and the Gold Glove Award, not the Great Glove Award, just for technicalities and consistency. Again, Hall of Fame. That's how the Hall of Fame works. Not going to change anything there. On this side, the schedule. If you wanted to change the amount of games, you could do that, but I'm not going to. Spring training, I'm just going to shorten to 4 weeks. I think sometimes in this game, spring training gets a little out of hand. The players play too much, and I think actually in real life, spring training is a little bit too long anyway, so 4 weeks it is. All-star game stuff, not going to change any of that. And it's got the custom playoffs already loaded in there, how it currently is. 6 teams in each league. Players, nothing really to change here. It's got like international free agent stuff. Those I really don't handle for the most part. I'll get to that in a minute. And finally, under the stats and AI section, it's got a typical starting rotation size to be 5. I'm not going to change that, even though I think in a couple of years it'll actually end up being 6. Just based on, I think more teams are going to be going to 6-man rotations, but not yet. So we're keeping it at 5. 8 relievers and 13 position players makes sense. And it's got some general strategic tendencies. I might change a couple of these. I was looking before. Defensive substitutions, I think, happen more often than not. So we're going to change that to often. And catcher framing impact, we're going to move up to the level 8 instead of 5. Because I think framing, as long as there is no automated ball strike system, framing is still very important. Not going to change anything on this side, so that just about does it for our game settings. Next up, we're going to go through our manager settings and basically decide what I want to do and what I want to have the computer do. So for this save, I have selected myself to be only the general manager. You can choose to be the general manager and the manager, but I'm not going to be playing the game, so I'm leaving all that stuff up to my manager, Carlos Mendoza. Also, so yeah, right here, lineups and depth charts will be up to Mendoza. It's a little risky sometimes in this game. Sometimes the computer will start players that don't deserve to be starting or put up some crazy lineups. There is a way to override it, and I probably will have to do that at some point, but I really want the manager to handle game stuff, and I can handle everything else. So Mendoza will do the lineups, the depth charts, the pitching staff, the player strategies. So, yep, and I will do the development lab. I will set player development focuses. There is also a new feature this year called the first year draft combine. I don't know what that's all about, so I guess to start, I'm going to leave that to my scouting director, Chris Gross. And once I kind of figure that out, maybe next year I'll handle that. But since I don't exactly know what's going on, we'll let the computer do that. Obviously, you're going to be managing active roster moves, transactions, trades, draft, budgets. I'm going to leave up to the assistant GM. The budgets gets a little confusing this game. I don't think it's that big a deal, and the computer usually handles it just fine. So that'll be up to the assistant GM. Same with international amateurs. This is the one baseball thing I'm not going to be doing. It's just kind of a confusing process in the game and kind of takes up a lot of time in the offseason. Not really necessary for me to do. We can leave that to David Stearns. I will sign and fire team personnel, sign and fire bench and base coaches, and assign instructor roles, and sign and fire minor league personnel. Minor league free agent signings and releases can be up to the minor league managers, as can minor league promotions and demotions, even though I will have the final say in ultimately calling up prospects to the major leagues. All right, so that does it for the manager settings. Now we can finally meet the team. So we're going to meet the Mets right now. First thing we're going to do is go through our personnel. Our assistant GM is David Stearns. So basically, he'll take the head baseball ops guy, and put him as the assistant GM under you. So David Stearns is our assistant GM. It's got GM ratings. It's got who they favor, veterans, pitchman. You can read, and player evaluation, scouting, whatever, trade frequency, trade aggressiveness. I don't really look at too much into this stuff. I do look into this probably more so than most. How much they value the draft, international free agents, development value, and scouting value. For me, what David Stearns could do that most benefits me is scout and understand the international market the best, because that is something I'm not going to be doing. And luckily for us, David Stearns does. I'm not going to be making too many personnel changes. I don't want to be doing too much in year one. We kind of want to evaluate and see what we have. But if we have to, at some point we can make some changes and possibly hire a new GM and do anything. Obviously, love David Stearns in real life, but in this game, might have to replace him at some point. Again, no rush to do that. Same with Carlos Mendoza. I mean, those two are some of the best one of the best GM manager duos in all the league. Top 5, I would say. The manager in this game, I'd say I look at kind of what their style is. I usually like sabermetric guys. Again, not that big a deal. He's conventional. It's got their tendencies over here. I don't really look too much into it. Maybe at some point I will. It's got these ratings. These are more important for the coaches, as I'll get to in a minute. Probably what's most important for the manager is their relationships with the players. Mendoza has an average relationship. This isn't based on anything. This is just, I don't know, simulated. You want a guy who has a good relationship with your players. Mendoza is average. So again, not making any changes right now. Not firing the manager and wasting money. So Mendoza is our manager. John Gibbons is our bench coach. He is average at teaching catching defense, infield defense, outfield defense, and running, which is kind of what I look for in my coaches the most. Relationship-wise, he has good relationships with the players, really all the hitters except Soto. We're going to see that kind of a little bit here. For some reason, I'm not exactly sure why, but yep. John Gibbons, 62 years old, and coaches typically retire around age 65 in this game, so John Gibbons might not be here for too long in the game. Pitching coach and hitting coach is important, no doubt about it. So Jeremy Hefner is our pitching coach. And for those types of coaches, I only look at one thing: how good they are teaching, pitching, and hitting. So Jeremy Hefner is good, which is good. I would personally like to see my pitching coach at the excellent or even legendary level, which they have in this game. Again, not making any changes right now, but you never know. And maybe something also important is their pitching coach focus. Hefner is focused on power pitchers, which is good because I typically like to acquire the power pitchers in this game. Jeremy Barnes is our hitting coach, and he has really not good ratings at all. So if I am going to make a change, it might be Jeremy Barnes. We'll see what his contract is, $415,000. He's got good relationships with the players, so he might just stick around to start. But he's only okay at teaching hitting. Not a guy I'm going to want around long term. He's signed for 3 years. Antoine Richardson is our first base coach. He has the legendary status of teaching catching, infield, and outfield defense, which is great to see. He's only 41 years old. He will be around for a long time. Average relationship, it's okay. He's a good coach to have coaching first base. Mike Sarbaugh is our third base coach. So for third base coaches, there's one more thing I look at, and that's the in-game running rating, because the third base coaches make the decision on whether or not to send runners home at third base. It's good that his rating is good, even though, again, I'd like to see it at least maybe at the excellent level, if not legendary. Sarbaugh has a good relationship with the team, which is always good to see. Next up, we have our scouting director, Chris Gross. Very important position in this game. The scouting director basically provides all the ratings that you see for your players. And so he's good at everything: major leagues, minor leagues, international scouting, and amateurs. Again, it's like a broken record. I'd rather have the ratings be at least excellent, if not legendary, but not going to make any changes right now. And also, Chris Gross has the entire team scouted right now, at least at an average level, as you can see right here. Some players are even highly scouted, so we're not making any changes right now. Also, the team trainer is important. Joe Golia is our trainer. You can see what he's good at, what he's not. Would have hoped that he was better at preventing arm injuries, but these are still pretty good ratings overall, especially fatigue recovery. I like that one. Sometimes in this game, players suffer setbacks a lot, and hopefully Joe Golia will help prevent that. I'm not going to go through the minor league staff right now, but when their contracts are up, I will make a decision on whether or not to keep them around or let them go and hire someone else. We actually do have a vacant spot. Our pitching coach in the Florida Complex League is vacant, so let's hire someone right now. Here's the page. They are looking for, right here, the Florida Complex League pitching coach. We're going to sort through pitching coaches. We have it already sorted by by their pitching ratings, how good they are teaching pitching. First two guys are 67 and 68 years old, respectively. So they might not be long-term guys, but the next two who have outstanding ratings, Wes Johnson and Anderson Polanco, I think would be good options. Let's check their relationships. Wes Johnson has a good relationship with the players in the Complex League. Anderson Polanco also has a good relationship. He's focused on power pitchers. Wes Johnson is focused also on power pitchers. I think I'm just going to go with Polanco just because he's younger. We have offered him a contract. It has that 2 years, $40,000 per season, and he will get back to us in a couple of days. So that's it for meeting the personnel, and now we can finally meet the active and the entire roster, really. Let's start with the lineups and go through what we have. So this game starts it's March 14th, 2025. So injuries are up to date as far as what it was on March 14th, 2025. So all these guys are hurt like they were in real life. So we're going to have to deal with that as the season starts. So that's why we don't see Francisco Alvarez here to start. He is currently hurt. So we start with Luis Torrens, who in an ideal world would be our backup catcher. We'll have to start the season because Alvarez is hurt. Not a great hitter. I mean, I've seen worse backup catchers. Definitely a good backup catcher, but not exactly what you want to see out of a starting catcher. Honestly, more important for backup catchers is their defense, and Torrens is a 55 overall defense, which is good. Would like to see it a little bit better, but then again, I'm not going to complain. He's only making $1.5 million in arbitration this year. We'll go through arbitration again next year. Out of options, that's okay. He's not going anywhere. In real life, I mean, his arm is probably even better than a 60. The ratings aren't going to be exactly what reflect the players in real life. That's okay. We don't want it to be exact. That would be no fun. So that's Luis Torrens. He will be starting as our catcher. The game defaults Chris Williams to be our backup catcher, but he's not in the 40-man yet, so there's no risk in sending him down. I like how the game kind of starts you like that, just because you can make that decision for yourself. And honestly, Chris Williams probably will not be our backup catcher. He's got decent power and a decent eye, but he's going to strike out a lot, and his defense is subpar at best, only a 45 overall defensively at the catcher position. 28 years old, pull hitter, but yeah, Chris Williams, I'd prefer someone more defense first as a backup catcher. Pete Alonso, it's a 55 overall in this game. The power is elite, 70 overall. That's obvious. He's got a good eye in the game as well, 55. Avoids strikeouts at an average rate, which is good to see out of a power hitter. He's going to pull the ball, obviously. He's a big home run hitter. Good guy to have, obviously. Defense, 50. First base, not that big a deal. Obviously has that player option for 2026 at $20 million. Hopefully he will not accept that, because that means he played well for us. That's Pete Alonso. Luis Angel Acuna is currently projected to start at second base. Again, I'll make that decision probably in the next episode, whether or not that will happen. He is currently a 40 overall, but has 60 potential, so is still very much a prospect in this game. He's going to put the ball in play. He's going to be a high contact guy, line drive hitter. Not going to strike out. Hopefully we can see that power develop a little bit. It's only at 35 right now, 45 potential. The eye is actually even better than probably I thought it would be, with 50 potential, 40 right now. He's got the speed, good defense, even though actually only a 45 at shortstop. I kind of wish that was a little higher, but good nonetheless. And he also can play the outfield quite well with a 65 outfield range. He might even play in center field for us at some point if we have a need. And he hits lefties better than righties. That's to be expected. Moving on, Luke Ritter, currently projected to be on the team. So like Chris Williams, he is not yet on the 40-man roster. So if we don't want him on the team, there is no risk. He's not even making any money, not a major league contract right now. Kind of like a utility guy, can kind of play the corners, even second base at an average level. Good guy to have around, but not exactly a guy who I'm looking forward to possibly having on the team to start. Average power, average eye. He's going to strike out a lot. Hits lefties better. That's good to know. Again, good guy to have around as depth, but not really a guy on my major league team right now, although he might have to start with the injuries that we have. Brett Beatty, 45 overall, 55 potential. Looking like a pretty balanced hitter. He's got power, even has some room to grow still. Same with his eye. He's going to strike out at an average rate. He's a pull hitter, which is good to see. Hopefully that can help him max out his power. Defense, average at third base, slightly below average at second base. I'll figure out where to play him at some point. I think his defense in real life is much better than this. He's made a lot of improvements. But in this game, it's just average. Hits righties better. That's to be expected once again. And has options. So sometimes you'll see that the financial stuff isn't exactly correct. He does not have 3 option years left in real life. He only has 1. But in this game, he has 3. So we might be able to take advantage of that. We will see. Moving on, Mark Vientos, who is not currently projected to start on our team against righties or lefties. Might have to change that because Vientos is a good hitter in this game. 50 overall, 55 potential, 65 power potential. His power is legit. Even has a good eye in this game. That's probably better than it is in real life. It's going to strike out a little bit. That's okay if he hits the way he's capable of. Defense, of course, not his strong suit. Only a 45 at third base. His arm carries that, although he could be a good first baseman if we need him in a pinch. That's Mark Vientos. Francisco Lindor, superstar player, 75 overall, elite at shortstop, even lower than I thought. Probably should be around the 70 there, but 65 is still elite defense at a premium position. Very balanced hitter. Nothing to complain about here. Better against lefties in this game, but that doesn't matter. Obviously, he's a switch hitter, can mash from both sides of the plate. He's on that contract, making $32 million per year through 2031. And we are lucky to have a guy like Francisco Lindor on our team. He is fantastic. Brandon Nimmo, currently projected to start in left field for us. Another balanced hitter we got here, carried by his eye, 65 overall. Unfortunately, his contract definitely could age poorly. $20 million for the next 6 years. Not ideal. Hopefully that eye maintains. Some of the other stuff, power contact, doesn't fall off too dramatically. And he will be our left fielder for the foreseeable future because he is no longer a center fielder, only a 45 overall. And similar to shortstop, I would like my players to be at least 55, if not 60 or better at those positions. Really any position, but especially the premium ones. So that is Brandon Nimmo. Jose Siri, projected to start in center field, and he's got just absolutely elite defense, 75 overall. He's got power, not a great eye. He's going to strike out a lot. Honestly, in real life, these ratings are probably more extreme than this gives him credit for. Again, not that big. I'm not going to change anything. Not doing any of that. Very fast player. He's going to be our starting center fielder in this game. He's just better than Tyrone Taylor in the game, even though I like Tyrone Taylor in real life. I mean, you can't ignore 75 overall defensive player with some offensive upside. So that's Jose Siri. Starling Marte, currently projected to start on our team, even though I don't think I'm going to allow that to happen. He is only a 45 overall. He's not even good. It's above average, but for Starling Marte, you prefer that contact ability to be even higher because that is a strength, putting the ball in play, because he doesn't have much power or much of an eye. Still relatively fast, definitely getting older. He's in his last year of his contract, making $19.5 million this year. It's a little expensive, but it's only 1 year, so I can't really complain about that. And his defense is actually still pretty good. Probably not that way in real life. Juan Soto, 80 overall. I mean, what else can you say about Juan Soto? 90 eye, 75 power, average in right field or left field, depending on where we're going to put him. Probably right field because Nemo's better than left. I mean, what else is there to say about Soto? It's got the contract in here. In the game, it actually gives you a 10-year maximum, so that's why in the game it actually looks like he signed 2 contracts. And also, interestingly enough, it has the opt-out in here, but unlike in real life, it doesn't give us a chance to void it if he does opt out. So Juan Soto could very well leave us after his age 30 season. So that could be an interesting storyline if that happens. And finally, on the active roster, we have Jesse Winker. Absolutely elite plate discipline, average power, average contact ability. Definitely a good guy to have around. Definitely a DH. His ratings in the outfield are not good at all, and is slightly better against right-handed pitching. That is to be expected. He's definitely a platoon player and probably deserves to start against right-handed pitching. So I'll change that at some point. Moving on to our pitching staff. This is what it currently is looking like. Again, we'll probably change some of this before opening day. We'll start with Kodai Senga, who is a 60 overall pitcher. Has very good stuff, 55 overall. Those 3, I'd say, elite pitches with a fastball, slider, and forkball to go along with a cutter. Throws 96 to 98 miles an hour over the top. Definitely our ace in this game. The control is the one thing that lacks, but as you'll see throughout this game, I prefer guys with stuff over control. Obviously, you'd like to have both, but if I had to pick, I think control can be improved. If you have the stuff, you have the ability, and stuff outplays control, I believe, in this game, and arguably does in real life too, although that's something you could definitely argue about. Contract, $15 million this year and next year, and basically he has player options the following 2 years. So if he opts out, we'll possibly have to resign him or not. We'll make that decision when we get there. So that's Kodai Senga. Clay Holmes, 60 overall pitcher. These are weird ratings because he throws 6 pitches in this game: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, sinker, and cutter. Which is weird because Clay Holmes, in real life, I mean, in a vacuum, his sinker and slider are really 2 elite pitches. In this game, he doesn't get credit for that. He's an extreme ground ball pitcher. That's good to see. So he's not going to give up any home runs. Gets up to 95 to 97. He's got decent stamina, 55. Good to see. But again, the stuff is not exactly what you want. He makes $13 million for the next 3 years. So again, maybe not the starter I would prefer to see, but a worthwhile starter nonetheless. And the same thing can be said about David Peterson, 50 overall. None of his pitches are particularly impressive. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, sinker. From the left side, 93 95 miles an hour. Just an average pitcher, no doubt about it. Good guy to have around. He's making $4.6 million this year. We'll have 1 more year of control in 2026, and he will be a key part of our rotation this year. Tyler McGill, actually currently slated to follow an opener, which is Reed Garrett. That's something I'm probably going to change. I don't think Tyler McGill necessarily has to follow an opener. He throws 5 pitches, and I like his stuff a lot more than maybe the other 2 because he's got a good fastball, pretty good slider and cutter to go along with a curveball and a splitter. Throws 96 to 98. Fly ball pitcher, so home runs could be an issue, but hopefully in our ballpark that Citi Field suppresses some of those fly balls. Only making $1.9 million. Has 2 more years of control after this year, so Tyler McGill definitely will be a key pitcher for us this year. It has Max Kranick, supposed to be our 5th starter right now with the Manaea and Montas injuries, and not seeing much I like here out of Max Kranick. He's not even on our 40-man right now. He honestly could start in the minors. Only throws 3 pitches, none of them particularly well. Can get up to 97, but nothing to love here about Max Kranick in this game, even though he's having a nice year out of the pen for the Mets in real life. Moving on to the bullpen, Edwin Diaz is our closer, 75 overall. He's got the 2 absolutely elite pitches, fastball and slider. He's a great closer to have. Love to see this stuff. Even his control is average in this game. Has the ability to opt out after this year, but if he doesn't, we'll have him for possibly 3 more years at most. 2 if we decline that team option. And we'll see what happens at the end of the year with Diaz. Daniel Nunez, similar to Diaz, has that fastball and slider, even though it's not as good. Doesn't have to be. There's still 2 elite pitches. Average control. He's got a changeup as well. So I like that added element to his repertoire. Power pitcher, throws up to 96 to 98 from that traditional arm slot. Making the league minimum, has options, but he is definitely one of our better relievers. So unless something crazy happens, he will be on our team. Jose Buto has 3 good pitches: fastball, slider, and changeup. Control is just below average. Definitely a good pitcher for us, 95 to 97. Not even on our 40-man right now, so we'll definitely have him for a long time. He's out of options, but again, similar to Nunez, he is on our team and a key reliever for us. Reed Garrett, another guy with great stuff. Love to see that. 60 overall. He's got 3 elite pitches: fastball, slider, and splitter to go along with the sinker. So I like seeing the second fastball from him, that fastball and sinker to go along with a breaking ball and off speed. Very good reliever, making the league minimum. Has an option, but again, probably not going to send him down. Can even get up to 99 miles an hour. Reed Garrett, definitely a good reliever in this game and in real life. Genesis Cabrera is currently slated to be our lefty out of the bullpen, and that we'll see if that happens because his ratings are pretty unimpressive. Only a 40 overall. Has 5 pitches, but none of them particularly good. Better against left-handed batters, so if we use him in the right matchups, he could be a somewhat worthwhile pitcher to have. And he is on a major league contract, so we might have to keep him around until we can't. But that's Genesis Cabrera. AJ Minter shouldn't be too long until he's back. He is definitely a better reliever. We'll get to him in 1 second. Ryan Stanek, 45 overall pitcher, but another guy with just good stuff. 80 grade fastball, 70 grade slider, gets up to 100. Control will be the issue with him. Also a splitter. But yeah, the control, you can see last year he walked a lot of batters with both the Mets and the Mariners. But yeah, he's going to probably allow a couple of home runs being a fly ball pitcher with that velocity. But I like his ratings, only making $4.5 million. After that, we have Griffin Canning, the last guy currently projected to start in our bullpen. And Griffin Canning has 60 stamina, so he can start, and honestly might have to because Kranick, I don't think, is a starter by any means. Nothing jumps out at you. 4 pitches, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, average control, average movement, average stuff, average pitcher, I'd say. Probably even slightly below average in the game, even though he's having a very good start to the 2025 season in real life. So that is the current active roster. Now let's go through some of the guys who are currently projected to start on the injured list. Starting with Paul Blackburn. 45 overall pitcher, just kitchen sink guy. None of his pitches are even close to impressive, but does have 6 fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, sinker, making $4 million. Don't really like these ratings. Doesn't even throw that hard. We'll see what happens when he comes back. He's out with knee inflammation for 5 weeks. If there's a need, he might have to start, but not exactly a guy I'm looking forward to possibly giving major innings to. Sean Manaea has that oblique strain, a 50 overall pitcher, throws 5 pitches at least an average level, fastball, slider, changeup, sinker, and cutter, average stuff, average movement, average control. Nice pitcher to have. He's making $22 million. Can opt out after this year. That's not the case in real life, but if he plays well, he might opt out. So we'll figure that out when that happens. But Sean Manaea, definitely we'll be looking forward to him coming back, even though it's going to be 2 to 3 months. So hopefully at some point by the All-Star break, he is back. Frankie Montas, 45 overall pitcher. I think I was really looking forward to watching Montas pitch in real life. I think this is his real life stuff is a lot better than this game gives him credit for. But he does still throw 5 pitches. Only the fastball is above average. Fastball, slider, sinker, splitter, cutter. Gets up to 98. Average stuff, slightly below average movement and control. He makes $17 million this year with a $17 million player option. Has a lat strain, so he is out for 2 to 3 months. But again, if there's a need, Frankie Montas will definitely start some games for us. Christian Scott, Tommy John surgery. He's out for the year, but definitely could be a good guy to have in the future. Pretty good stuff. Fastball and slider to go along with splitter and cutter. Very good control. That's Christian Scott's bread and butter. He does not walk batters. Last year, only a 6.1% walk rate. By the way, these stats I put in myself to this. These are the kind of the stats I like to look at for pitchers. Same thing with the hitters. I didn't mention that before. But yeah, Christian Scott will be a nice guy to have around. He will be making the league minimum for a long time. So yeah, Christian Scott, we'll look forward to him in 2026. I mentioned AJ Minter before. He's our top lefty reliever, out right now with a hip strain. Only 3 to 4 weeks. Shouldn't be that long. Throws 2 nice pitches with a fastball and cutter to go along with a changeup. Average control, average movement. Definitely a nice guy to have. Pretty balanced, actually. That's why the cutter, pretty neutral pitch. Same thing with the changeup. $11 million player option for next year. Hopefully he declines it because that means he came back successfully and had a good year. So that's AJ Minter. Drew Smith, another guy out for the year with Tommy John. He's got good stuff. 50 overall, flashball, slider, curveball, changeup, and cutter. But he probably will not see the field for us this year. And he's only making $1 million with a $2 million team option. So we'll evaluate him in the offseason whether or not to pick up that cheap $2 million option. Francisco Alvarez, our starting catcher, no doubt about it. 50 overall right now, but it's got 70 potential. There's room to grow in basically every offensive area. Contact, power, and discipline. His defense is average, though. Good at framing, though, which is good because I changed that setting, so framing matters more. But the blocking is only a 45 overall, and the arm is a 55. So no doubt about it, Francisco Alvarez is going to be a good catcher for us, and hopefully for many years to come. We will have to wait 8 to 9 weeks, though, because he has a fractured hand. Jared Young, a guy the Mets signed out of the KBO this offseason, and has some nice ratings in this game. Very balanced hitter. Can play basically any of the corner spots, first base, third base, left field, or right field. Even has some speed. And hits righties better than lefties, so I think it could be a nice little platoon player if there are some injuries on our Major League roster. Jared Young, good guy to have around. He's out for 11 days, so it's not that serious. Nick Madrigal, the Mets signed him to be their backup infielder, and then he immediately got hurt in spring training, so he's out for the year. We'll have the ability to tender him a contract in arbitration if we want. Definitely a put the ball in play kind of a guy. He's never going to strike out, but has zero power and not that much of an eye. Some speed, and the ratings in the infield are good, but not great. I'd like to see again have a backup infielder, some I guess even better defensive ratings, but it's not bad. Just maybe not elite. That's Nick Madrigal. 2 more injured guys. Jeff McNeil, 45 overall. Another guy who's not going to strike out. Not much power, average eye. Will be a good guy to have around. He's a major league player. Can play second, third, left, or right and above average, or at least an average level, if not above average. This is Jeff McNeil. I mean, he's got 2 more years before that team option in 2027. His oblique will keep him out for 6 weeks. It'll be good to have him back when he's ready. And finally, Ronnie Mauricio. Power 55 is good. Would like to see that maybe even more. I think he's got more power in real life. The eye is probably going to be the issue, and not that good discipline. Strikeouts, even actually above average. That's pretty good. He's got speed. He's got good defense. Probably not a shortstop, but definitely at third or second, and can probably even make it in a corner spot as well. He's got a good arm. So that's the Major League roster, I believe. Everyone on the current 40-man roster, I believe we went through almost everybody, just not the minor leaguers. So we're going to go through probably the entire Syracuse Mets roster in AAA to start, and then maybe some prospects around the organization, and that'll be it. So we'll start with a pitcher in AAA named Jordan Gerber. Don't know too much about him in real life, and nothing really impresses me in this game. Definitely just some depth. Probably will never see the major leagues. A guy who will see the major leagues, though, is Brandon Sproat. And these are looking fantastic, possibly a fantastic pitcher in the works here. 45 overall right now, so he could even probably get some outs right now if we were to call him up again. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to give him some time in AAA to develop, hopefully, to get to a 50 overall, even a 55. But he's got 4 possibly elite pitches: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. The fastball is already a major league pitch. Same with the slider, even. Control 45. That's not even that bad. Maybe we can improve on that as the years go on, but definitely looking forward to Brandon Sproat making his debut at some point, probably this year. Yoander Suarez, 4 average pitches. Could make a spot start in a pinch if he works on those pitches a little bit more in AAA. Only 3 innings there last year, so he definitely has some more room to grow. Not exactly a prospect, I would say, a legit prospect, but a good guy to have around. Dylan Tabrake. Not exactly sure how to say his name. He throws 4 pitches very well. Only 40 stamina, so we'll see if he's a starter or not. But definitely could be a good reliever, probably right now, which is good to see. So yeah, only 40 control again. I prefer stuff over control anyway, so definitely someone we'll keep an eye on. Blade Tidwell, starter. Not as good as Sproat, but has, once again, 3 possibly elite pitches: fastball, slider, and cutter to go along with the changeup. The control is what will probably limit him to start, but another prospect we have in AAA that will make his debut at some point and hopefully will impact the Mets in a big way. Huascar Brazaban, currently in AAA. I like his ratings a lot more than some of the guys in the Mets bullpen I was showing you before. I don't think I should run through Austin Warren because nothing really impresses me about him. He is making some money, though, but he does have some options. So, honestly, Brazaban will definitely see his way up at some point if there's a need or if we need a fresh arm. He's got 5 pitches: fastball, slider, changeup, sinker, and cutter. Definitely will be a guy we call up at some point, and he has options as well. So once he gets called up, he will probably go back and forth at some point. Chris Davinsky, veteran depth guy. Nothing really stands out here. 4 pitches, though. That changeup is his best pitch. But again, he's old. He's 34. Probably not going to be a piece for us at any point. Anthony Goes is here. He has a nice fastball and slider. So if he can work on that control a little bit, throws hard, 96, 98 from the left side. Could be a little reliever for us. He is 34, though. So the Guardians have tried him the last couple of years. I wouldn't say it's gone extremely well, but hopefully we can unlock a little something out of Anthony Goes and use him in a pinch. Justin Hagenman, nothing really here. Only 3 pitches. None of them are particularly good. Nothing stands out here about Justin Hagenman. Kevin Herget, same thing. Nothing really stands out here. This is just AAA depth. Although Kevin Herget, local guy, the match just lost him on waivers, unfortunately, to the Braves. But he's a New Jersey guy, Kane, northern New Jersey there. So that's Kevin Herget. Jonathan Pintaro, nothing really impressive about him either. 5 pitches, but none of them are particularly good. Jose Urania, he's had Major League time in the past. Broken record here. Nothing really excites me about him. Brennan Waddell, same thing. Lefty, nothing really here. He does make $1.1 million with options, so he probably will just stay down there and maybe come up in an absolute emergency just because he is making a major league. He does have a major league contract. We don't want to just completely shove him away. Danny Young. Now, this is a lefty I'd rather see in our bullpen than Hensis Cabrera. Out of options, so we'll keep that in mind. But he's got a nice slider to go along with a sinker, side armor, lefty ground ball pitcher. Had a nice year for the Mets last year. Struck out a lot of guys. I like Danny Young. He will see his way onto the team at some point. Tyler Zuber. Fastball, slider are good, not great. He is also on the 40-man, so he probably will come up at some point. But not too excited about him, but I'm not going to complain. And finally, from the relievers, is Sean Foley, who is a stuffed demon. 35 control, though, so that is something we have to watch out for if we would ever call him up. But I do love his stuff. Those hard. We'll have to monitor him because if he loses any of the stuff, he will become a pitcher who is unpitchable, out of options as well. So now we go to the hitters in AAA. We have 3 catchers, so we might have to choose between these 3 if we want. If we don't want Chris Williams on our team to start. Starting with Kevin Parada, former first-round pick. Unfortunately, it's not going too well for him in real life. He's in this game. He's got something left, 45 potential, but the defense is not exactly what I want. Only 45 overall, and could have average power, could have an average eye. We'll see what happens for Kevin Parada. Probably not going to be the guy to start the year on our active roster. Jackson Reitz, another guy. Above average power, average at best at everything else, and not good defensively. 29 years old. We'll see. And finally, Hayden Sanger, who, of course, made the Mets roster in real life, but and honestly might do so as well in this game just because of that defense. He's a captain player. He's a leader. He has high work ethic and good ratings defensively. And honestly, I mean, the hitting isn't good, but I don't think any worse than the other guys. So Hayden Sanger right now is who we're leaning towards for our backup catcher, but we'll make that decision in the next episode. Billy McKinney. He is a corner outfielder. Nothing really stands out here. I guess nothing really stands out about Billy McKinney. Joey Meneses has some power. Probably has more power in real life, only 50 in this game. I mean, if we ever need a corner infielder, first baseman, Joey Meneses is the guy. But yeah, nothing. I'm not looking too forward to calling him up. Hopefully, we don't have to. Rowdy Jordan, backup infielder, probably even better than outfielder with those ratings. Yeah, you can see why 65 and 60 and left and right. Speedy guy, not much of a hitter. Switch hitter, though, so that's cool. He is better against lefties. That is Rowdy Jordan. Donovan Walton, 40 overall player. Good defensively at second. Only a 45 is short. Speedy guy. Will put the ball in play. He's one of those types of guys. Put the ball in play. Not much power for Donovan Walton. Only 30 years old. Lefty hitting infielder. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to come up at some point. Luis De Los Santos. Nothing really here. He's a corner infielder. I think in the game, in real life, he's a much better defensive player. In this game, he's not, and he's not particularly someone I would look forward to calling up if we have a need. After him, we have Diego Castillo, who actually is a pretty nice depth player to have. No power, but a good eye. Well, is not going to strike out. Some gap power. Gap power in this game, it's probably the least important rating of them all. I mean, it's important, but I will still take contact power and eye over gap power. And can play really anywhere on the field if we need him in a pinch. Would have options as well, so that's good to hear. Castillo probably will be on our team at some point. Then we go to Jet Williams. I almost missed him. Don't want to do that because he is one of our better prospects. His eye is elite right now and has a chance to even get better. Power, that's the one issue I'd say with him. Obviously, a very small guy. Only where do we see his height? It says 5'6" right there. Yeah, I believe he's 5'6". Fast, can play center field. The outfield ratings actually looking better than the infield ratings, but can play second or third. Really can play anywhere. Very athletic guy. Definitely looking forward to having Jet Williams on our team at some point, and he starts in Syracuse right now. Alexander Canario has some power, 60 power. That's good. He's going to strike out, not really walk. Good in the corners, out of options, and hits lefties better than righties. If we need him, I won't complain. He's a nice player to have his depth. Jose Azocar, elite defensively in center field. This alone could get him onto the team if one of our outfielders goes down just because of how good he is defensively, but not much of a hitter at all. Only 35 power, 35 eye. But he's fast and not terribly old either. Edward Olivares is in AAA for the Mets, corner outfielder. Somewhat decent rating. He's not going to above average at avoiding strikeouts, average power, slightly below average eye, somewhat fast. Has an option also. That's good. He could come up at some point. And finally, Tyrone Taylor, who is for some reason projected to start in AAA, even though that's not going to happen. He's going to be on our major league roster. He makes $3 million and would be in arbitration once he's on our 40-man roster. He is good in the outfield, 55 in center field. Definitely a great player to have on your team. He's fast, and let's see if he hits lefties better. Not really. He's a balance hitter, but yeah, Tyrone Taylor. So now finally, let's go through, some prospects. We'll sort it by, maybe some 45 over 45 potential or better. So we start with Nolan McLean. Another great pitching prospect we have, someone who's popping off in real life. Fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup have the ability to be well above average pitches. Control only 45, that's the theme here. But, hard thrower and a great prospect, Nolan McLean. Zach Thornton, not much of a prospect. I mean, those 4 pitches, at best, probably is a depth starter. Jonathan, good prospect. 4 good pitches, fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup. The control, once again, is the issue. Doesn't throw as hard as the other guys. Tong, again, another guy popping off in real life, and maybe these ratings don't even give him credit for what he's doing. But still a nice prospect to have. That's Jonathan. Zach Wenninger, another guy playing well in the minors this year for the Mets. In this game, probably average at best, 93, 95 miles an hour from the right side, from a normal arm slot, 5 pitches, all average. That is Jack Wenninger. Scrolling down a bit, let's find our next somewhat decent prospect. It's probably going to be right here, Ryan Clifford. Power and discipline is the name of Ryan Clifford's game. Those two have the ability to be elite. Strikeouts could be a huge issue. for him. Only 40 potential at avoiding those Ks. First baseman or corner outfielder. We'll see what happens with him. But still a nice prospect to have, and he's with that power. That's 65 power. That's basically 35 to 40 home run potential right there. So that's Ryan Clifford. William Lugo, just a little depth guy right here. Not much there. Let's see if there's anyone else worth noting. Alex Ramirez, unfortunately becoming a non-prospect in real life, but in this game still has something, I would say. Defensively alone could get him to the major leagues. 60 overall in center field, elite in the corners. And if the offensive ratings, if he can develop that eye, the power, definitely could be a useful major league player. I'm not going to see if there's any 50 overall betters in the rest of the levels. I will go through them right now. Jesus Baez, infielder, probably not shortstop. Definitely an infielder. Has the ability to be a nice little balanced hitter if he develops. Hopefully he does. He's in Brooklyn High A right now. Carson Benz, the Mets' first-round pick in 2024, who is still a two-way player in this game, but how is he as a pitcher? Probably not much of a pitcher. Oh, actually, he has some decent pitches, so we'll see if Carson Benz can develop as a two-way player. If not, definitely could be a nice offensive player for us. Could be a balanced hitter. Probably more of a corner guy, even though right now he could probably fake it in center field and do just fine. We go to St. Lucie Mets. Is there going to be anybody here to go through right now? No. In the complex leagues, there's probably only going to be – okay, we got a couple here. Jeremy Rodriguez, who the Mets acquired in 2023. Puts the ball in play. Average power at best. Good discipline, speedy guy. Could play infield or outfield. Definitely a second baseman or third baseman. Good arm. Left-hand hitting infielder as well as Jeremy Rodriguez, one of our better prospects, especially from a position player standpoint. Simone Juan, who was a big international signing a couple years ago, still has maybe the ability to play center field, if not a corner spot, definitely. And the ratings are, he's 19 years old right now. There's still a long way to go for these guys. But, Simone Juan. And there's going to be one guy, I think, in this in the DSL right now. Yep, Elian Pena. Mets top international pick from last year. Right off the bat, I see that he's good and a good guy, work ethic wise, baseball IQ wise. Great to see. Might even be a shortstop, which is good. Has a great ability to put the ball in play and has possibly a very good eye. Hopefully, again, he's only 17 years old. There's such a long way to go for a guy like Elian Pena, but a good prospect to have. All right, so that is the entire organization. Hopefully you enjoyed this first episode of our series, Out of the Park Baseball 26, playing as the New York Mets. Next episode, we will start to go through the season, simulate through opening day, and probably around the first month or two, and start opening their roster and see how the games go. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you liked it and left a comment, and also subscribe to the channel. It will really help out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.